Oh. Oh, 1 minus Fox. That's all. Fox. That light is just so bright. But I just saw the Looney Tunes movie, The Day the Earth Blew Up, which this is a... I had Bugs. I don't know where Bugs is. He had ears that would flip around. I don't know where he went. But I got Daffy, which is the main one I need for this review. So, put him over there. But, let's watch the trailer, and then we'll get into everything else. Alright. We get 3, 2...
For generations, you laughed with them. You cried with them. And watched them grow. In 2025, they're coming to the big screen like never before.
Literally.
Daffy. Oh, sorry.
February 28th. Bigger. Bolder. And loonier.
I barely even know you. We're not afraid of nothing. What? Here's the script. Catch up on your own time. We have to act fast, and there's only one person that can do the job. Daffy Duck. Daffy?
Oh no, not the duck! The duck?
Duck?
That's right. The duck.
You gotta be kidding me. Who greenlit this garbage?
Can I also...
Who's there?
The Day the Earth Blew Up. A Looney Tunes movie.
Get it off me! Get it off me! Get it off me! Oh, is it over?
Can I just say this right now, though? This bit right here, with one... Because... Okay, I grew up watching Looney Tunes. I love the shit out of them. I love Looney Tunes. Bugs is one of my favorites. But I will say though, like, one, I always remember watching this like on Cartoon Network and seeing like the people walking up in the audience. I always wondered like, why are they always walking in an audience? Like, what is this? Like, I'm watching this on TV. I've only ever seen this in a TV. Only till I think I watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Did it finally click? Because there's a scene where they're in the movie theater and they were watching it, or watching some old cartoons. And they were watching cartoons like, oh, these were supposed to be meant to watch in theaters back in the day. Mind you, it was like the little shorts. It wasn't nothing like, you know, a full-length movie like this was. So, and this is like, that's why it was funny saying this gag, but also attention to detail where this dude, even if it's just his silhouette, you can tell this is a guy from like, I don't know, whatever Looney Tunes was, kind of the 20s, the 30s, 50s, something like that. But yeah, and I'll say this right now too, this entire movie, like, I love Lola Bunny, don't get me wrong, but this, I love how this girl straight, like, I don't think she's new. I think she's a character who's been in a few before, right? I think she has been. But she fits the Looney Tune-ness of everything. Like, she has her own Looney quirks within this world, too, which is kind of great. And also, again, growing up with Looney Tunes, it is funny because everyone probably, if you ask anybody, they probably will bring up, you know, Daffy and Bugs. Like, they're a pretty much an iconic Looney Tunes duo. That's the thing. Bugs being the chill one, while Daffy's the scheming, you know, self-absorbed one. But there is another. But the funny thing is, the duo of Porky and Daffy is in a few cartoons, and they work really well off of each other. And that one, Daffy usually isn't. At least I'm trying to remember correctly. Daffy usually isn't the self-absorbed asshole that he is with Bugs. That seems to be more of something he does around Bugs, so Bugs can work off of him being the cool guy or whatever. And this one, it's more Daffy as well. Looney, he's Daffy, he's crazy. And then Porky is the more responsible one. And I do love this, like, this, I don't know if you can consider this an origin or not, because it is Looney Tunes, so, like, they have multiple backstories. But this one, it's like, Porky and Daffy were found together by, was it Farmer Sam? And they, you know, by Farmer Jim, that was it. And were raised together to raise this house, which also, it's really funny that their father, who's like, their adopted father, this father, I'm going to keep calling him Farmer Jim because I can't remember his full name. Every time he's in frame, he's always painted, he's painted as the background, like with the background, like solid, non-moving, non-edited kind of thing. Like, let me see if I can get like a decent
with them and watch.
Okay, that you can. It's black and white. It's hard to see, but like this, he's never painted like everyone else except for like two scenes. But like he's like this the entire time, where he's just straight a solid image. Even there's a one point where he's walking across the screen and he's just like Tar will be my stand. He's just, and then you see like his legs are just solid stiff, just. It's like, what the hell? I'm like, by God. It's really funny. And like, then like, at some points he then will be animated, where, like, the part where like, he just walks. Okay, so he raises them throughout these, and there's a good extended bit of like the credit scene where we see their life together, Daffy and Porky, which I guess they're like, they're raised as brothers pretty much throughout their entire life. You can see their points where they're teenagers, but throughout their entire life. And I will like this too. Like, it is pretty funny when like he's teaching Porky how to ride a bike, and then Daffy goes, "Look, I can just look, Mom, no hand, no training wheels," because he like puddles an invisible steering wheel with his hands, and you see him look at the camera and go, that duck is daft loony, like something like that. Like his mouth will start moving, but he'll still be like this solid image. And then eventually, like he tells them, "Boys, you have to keep your home safe and keep this place safe, your home together," and stuff like that. And like their house is in the middle of like nowhere, like just open land, and he just toddles off to the thing, looks back, suddenly he's very well animated, just goes, "You boys take care of yourselves. As long as you're with each other, you won't lose a thing. You won't need anyone else." And then he disappears. They're crying, and then you just see the farmer up in the clouds. It's like, what happened to him? Did he die? Did his people need him? I was half expecting him to come down when the world was about to get destroyed, just like, "Don't worry, boys, I gotcha," and just like grabs them as God or something. Like, what happened? But pretty much then we cut to now, and like their house is now in the middle of like a metropolis city. I guess they didn't own the land. In Metropolis City, and there's also, I think, kind of missing some bits. Which I'll say this too: this movie has like twists or things like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, so pretty much like the town that they live in, or there's a scientist guy, like, oh, straight, like, if you look at that one, like, is it Flesher Superman, something like that? They're like the old, like, one, it's animated like that old fashioned, like, stuff, like, and mind you, this is actually 2D animated. Let me actually specifically bring that up before I go any further. This is 2D animated. Like, there's none of the bullshit where it's like, oh, it's CGI, but it looks like, okay, here's the thing. I love the Shadow the Hedgehog miniseries Dark Beginnings for Shadow Generation. I love that a lot. And I love the mixture of and I love that. But it is still a CG with a little bit with 2D added on top of it. And it looks good as hell. Don't get me wrong. It still looks amazing. But it is CG. It is still CG, even though it looks 2D. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, like the Spider-Verse movies, those are still CGI movies, but with like 2D on top of that. Same with something like Arcane and stuff like that, where like there is hand-drawn animations even on top of that, but it isn't a hand-drawn animation. It is still 2D animation. Even Sonic Prime, where they actually had kind of have a good mix of both as well of that stuff. And even, I'll say, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Disney's still pieces of shit for cutting 2 episodes from 2 different shows about trans characters, so screw them. But you know, like, that one is pretty well, which I should talk about that show a bit, where they use 2D for, like, the backgrounds of that, which allows it to expand beyond what a regular CGI show usually does, which is really good. This is 100%, as far as I can tell, 100% 2D animation. Like, it is done straight 2D. But anyways, scientist guy runs up to the microscope, looks at the thing, sees a meteor coming, and you're like, what is that? And then he sees another thing come around the meteor, come and crash down, flies over the bubblegum factory, and then, I'll show you, I say this right now, go watch this movie. Go watch this movie. Go watch this movie. Don't let this go end. Go watch this movie. Anyways, alien ship crash lands, scientist says, I don't know what this is, but it seems to be a UFO. I must go there. Drives there, finds a meteor. It's like, oh my god! Gets hit with something glowing and green. These guys are in their house again, now in the middle of Metropolis. This one lady with giant assets on the front and back comes out of her car, has trouble getting in and out of her car because of certain assets she has. But, like, Bustin tells, like, Daffy and them, like, set up everything because it's the annual house inspection day. Lady comes, and, like, the funny thing is, when they wake up and they're fixing everything, like, they're putting, like, pizza boxes over holes, putting a sign, all this other stuff. It's a barely passable house. But, like, there's these birds that always are flying around, like, chirping and stuff like that, and it's like, oh, okay, because we find out later, like, the lady goes, oh, you know, it's in order, except for the hole in your roof, because that's where the birds are flying, and the alien ship smashed through it and left, like, green goo. And, like, what? So, pretty much, they say, like, you know, you have 10 days, or, you know, you're gonna lose the house. She leaves. Daffy and Porky then have to get a job, and every job they do, it's like, paper boys. Ah, yes, we can do this. Just throw the papers. And then Daffy pulls out a Gatling gun to shoot papers and gets fired. And pretty much, like, they get fired from horse training. They get fired from a lot of jobs. Go watch it. It's really funny. Ride sharing with a horse. They go through all these jobs, and pretty much it seems like Daffy's the main one who's always messing this up. They're eating at a diner bar at one point, and I believe her name was Patricia. Is it Patricia? Let me check that real quick. I believe it's Patricia Pig. Porky Pig girlfriend. Petunia Pig. Yeah, okay, so this wasn't the first thing. Yeah, she has been in other things. Okay. But Petunia Pig walks into the diner, and they see each other like, Porky's like, one, she walks in, she looks like shit, but Porky's like, oh my god, she's the most beautifulest girl ever. And she walks in, Daffy introduces them in a way, like, he's like, oh, like, you know, oh, I can tell you want a piece of that, don't you? And Porky's like, well, Daffy! He's like, don't worry, I got you, I'll go get it. And she's like, Daffy, no! And Daffy goes up and goes, hey, can I get some of that pie? He tells the guy behind the desk, and Porky's like, no, actually, I don't want any pie. And pretty much he actually does set Porky with Petunia up, which I'm like, and I'm like, it's either, oh, he just got, Porky was talking about the pie, but I think he actually legit knew what he was doing, setting him up with Petunia. And pretty much Petunia is working with the gum factory, which I ain't gonna lie, when I heard the day the Earth blew up, I thought like, oh, it's gonna explode again or something like that. And then when you see the images of like the poster of Daffy and Porky high-five and his hands split and there's gum between their hands, like, it says, we have to stick together. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't think it actually was gonna be like like gum was going to be a main part of this because she works for the gum factory that's for this town and for the world, and it's like the number one gum factory. And the gum, and she's like, I'm a gum scientist or whatever, and she's like, she traces different things like coffee or other things. She goes, and like it spits it out. And like, here's the thing too, like I don't know, maybe it's just because I don't know Petunia outside of this, other than like I've seen her probably sometimes, but that's about it. Like, I legit think like Petunia's intro in this is a great modernization of the character versus because I like, mind you, yes, Lola in the Lola from the Looney Tunes show is funny, don't get me wrong, but like it is compared to her original one, which whether you like her for whatever reasons, I will say it is very different. I feel like there should be like a middle ground between those two characters. I feel like, I don't know, Petunia, maybe she's playing safe, I just don't care that much. I liked her version in this a lot. She was Looney, because she's, like, so obsessed with it. She's like, maybe I should taste this sponge to see if it has a good flavor. And, like, she makes different gum flavors. Like, she's freaking Willy Wonka with gum. And she makes, like, a gum flavor that, like, explodes when you chew it. And she's like, I still haven't gotten right down what to do to fix this. But she offers them a job to go work at the gum factory. They do that, where it's all that Porky has to do is push a button and Daffy has to pull a lever. And that leads to like that whole song, like a cool like turn of the century 20s like art style kind of thing. It's like, oh, that's cool as hell. You actually kind of see it, let me see. Right here. Yeah, you see it like a little bit right there. But, get out of here, you. Yeah, that turn of the century style, like, look. But, while this is all going on, again, like, while that's all going on, Daffy then sees, oh yeah, that when the gum exploded. Daffy, while this is going on, Porky goes to talk to Petunia on break, while Daffy tries to make friends with the scientist from the beginning, who's like, true. And he's going, and he follows the scientist to the place where the scientist actually dumps, like, chemical, like this green goo that Daffy found in his roof, but now in his suitcase, all into the gum things, where Daffy then follows, like, Daffy after taking a break or trying to warn Porky. Porky's like, look, you always ruin things, just go chill out or whatever. And he's like, oh, like, I don't ruin things. It's actually something happening. And, Jesus. Oh, yeah, they get canceled because Daffy twerks out of social media. But, Daffy actually sees someone chew on the new gum flavor, which, like, Petunia was like, oh, that stuff's nasty. Like, that's just the same flavor, just redone. And Daffy sees someone eat it, and they turn into pretty much a zombie. And they're like, what? And like, there's an eyeball on the gum, and you see like up in the alien spaceship, like there's the alien or the invader, I guess he's called from the ending. Let me see, does he appear on here? Oh yeah, he's right over here. Which this character is loony as all hell. Just look at that. Just look at that. That's hand-drawn animation. Yeah, it's using computer. They're drawing the computer except like paper, but like this is hand-drawn animation. Like, holy shit, look at that. But the invader's there, and he's like, I must use this to get the one resource of Earth. And you're like, ah, shit, what is it? And pretty much, Daffy finds this out. He tries to warn Porky. He tries to warn everybody by running up to like the big reveal, completely naked with no feathers on, and like crazy teeth. Like, look, like they're gonna turn to zombies if you eat the gum. And Porky doesn't believe him. He's like, you always ruin things. And it does really seem like it's gonna go with the idea of like they should be like okay to separate. Which, yeah, be your own people. You don't have to stay with your siblings all the time and all that stuff. But like, and funny enough, like, if anything, that's like one of my gripes with Gravity Falls was like the part where like, we have to stick together, we're twins. It's like, shut up. Jesus Christ, he's about to go like follow his dream and you're holding him back. Anyways. I'm not mad about Mabel about trusting Bill. That I'm not mad. That I'm surprised people were mad about that. She got tricked. I'm more mad about like her guilt tripping him into not following his dream. That's where I'm like, really? Okay. In any case, in this one, it seemed like it would go kind of that similar route, but not really. Actually, it is more like they have like Porky has to learn to trust Daffy, and Daffy, needing to figure out where he kind of fits in a little bit, like his looniness, I guess. It ain't even really that. Like, kind of know when to use it, I guess. Because I guess that's Daffy's whole thing, to learn when to use it. Honestly, I feel like if you're someone who's on the spectrum, you'll probably relate to Daffy a lot in this movie. But honestly, everyone in this movie. But so Daffy pretty much tries to warn Porky. Porky says, "You always ruin everything and all this stuff," and Porky even had to use the rest of the money that they were saving to fix the roof, to bail Daffy out of jail. And he gets mad. Porky tries to shoot the gun to show Daffy it's nothing. Daffy's like, "No, wait!" Gets it up. They go to Petunia. Gives Petunia, try to, see what the gum is. It's when you chew it, it like activates and something happens. And Petunia has like a thing chew it. The alien looks through the little peephole and goes, "Oh, it's that duck again, that crazy duck. And he brought friends. Better not risk it. Kill them all." He activates the gum, and then that's where it becomes this thing. Like, that was the thing that was chewing the gum. And pretty much tries to use that to kill them. They fight back. They fight it back. Daffy eventually is shown to be right. Porky eventually, agree with the brother, and they pretty much make a plan of like using one of those old pest things where it's like the thing you suck it up and like it's a little container there and you go. I don't know what that is. I remember I always saw it in cartoons, like, that was cool. Like, there's a lot of things here where I'm like, this feels like an old cartoon, I love it. That's one thing I'll say about, like, now, compared to, like, back in the day, because obviously there's been homages to things throughout all of time, but I really do feel like we're at an age right now where we can have homages that are, like, 100%, like, almost accurate to the what it's homaging. Because it's like, oh yeah, I completely forgot about the like thing. I forgot like how this. Anyways, but yeah, so they figure out like to fill up with like stinky egg smell and use that. Pretty much they figure out these things can burn, so they burn it. And it's funny when at one point like they're being chased, they're hiding under the desk. There's a lot of really fun gags. I'm not gonna be able to go through all of them. Ungagged, and they're all teeth are chattering, and then Daffy looks, his teeth aren't chattering. He looks and like it's the teeth of this and going, and he's like, and they just run, and eventually they burn it. And they realize that they use the stink of stinky eggs with that gas thing to make people spit out the gum, and then they use the flamethrower to burn it. Porky hides the regular eggs to make Daffy have to stay there and lay eggs, so that he can, so that way they can, he can spend time with Petunia while they fight aliens, while they fight the alien gum, which works for a time until eventually, Daffy does, like, come in and kind of ruins it. He kind of breaks things, and, like, it just goes completely awry. Eventually, Porky doesn't trust him, and it gets Petunia captured, and eventually their house even gets destroyed, and they get captured, they get sent to the alien ship, and then, like, eventually the alien's plan comes to fruition, which alien is just getting, like, just crazy and angry and stuff. It's really good. I don't know if I really want to spoil much after this. But you know what? Because here's the thing. There's a point where you're like, oh, this is near the end. And then it's not the end. And then a thing that happened in the beginning, you're like, right! I forgot that happened, or that was happening. It's like, holy shit. Like, I don't want to go in too far into everything else. Because legitimately, I will say, go watch this movie. Because I was like, alright, it's an alien invasion movie. Then it became a zombie movie. Then it became more than that. And I'm like, holy shit. And pretty much like things along the lines of Daffy And Porky Daffy does learn when he should be Daffy, or when he should be Looney, I guess, and when he should hold it back. Porky learns, to trust and all that stuff. At the very end, they do stick together, like, all three of them stick together. There's so much fun. I legit don't even want to spoil this movie. I legit, go watch it. Go watch it. If you want me to do a spoiler review, I guess maybe I will do it. I kind of went through the majority of the movie already, even then, but still, I just say this. Go watch it. Because even, the point where on the alien ship, there's a twist, again, where I'm like, oh! Right! And then at one point there's even an homage to another type of movie. It covers an alien invasion, zombie movie, a disaster movie, and oh my god, there's those, this movie is great. Go watch it. Don't let this go bad. Don't let this movie go bad. Don't, go get it. I think it only made $1 million in its first, day or two, and I think is low for it, but, go do it. I hope this movie does well. And because it's legit, it was so cool watching this in theaters. It's been a minute since I've been able to watch a 2D animated movie in theaters, and it's kind of amazing, and I loved it. And it was great. This is such a good homage to Looney Tunes and stuff like that. And I want to see more. I want to see, them do a Bugs Bunny cartoon, big on screen. I want to see more Daffy and Porky maybe working together. Also, I'm wondering why a lot of modern ones, they give them, yellow gloves instead of white. I'm not sure if, back in the day, I can't remember if, back in the day, they used to be yellow at first, but then they switched it to white. I don't know why they went back to yellow. It still looks nice. It looks good, though. Maybe just the color breakup. I don't know. Hey, guys. This movie was good. Legitimately really good. Petunia's probably one of my new favorite Looney Tune characters. Even though she's not new, but but legit, this was just fun, and I highly recommend it. You know what, Warner Brothers, if you want to go nuts balls to the walls with things, make a Lunatics movie. Lunatics Unleashed. Holy shit, I would love to see a Lunatics movie. Do it. I dare you. God. But yeah, this movie was legit super good. I highly recommend it. Tell me in the comments below. Thank you for watching, which videos I've done. Links are on my face, subscription buttons are on there, so check out all my other videos. Hopefully enjoy this. This is great. I don't even want to go, again, through all of it, because it is literally just that good. Go watch it. Thanks for watching, and we will see you later. Woo-hoo!